commitment to the students of Depew and their education. This graphic shows those specific details about making that decision. First of all, health and safety, then student learning. The three models that are displayed take into account those two key areas, health and safety and student learning. When we think about 100% in-person learning, which what we were in before March 14th, today with the pandemic still raging, 100% in-person learning poses a high risk for our health and safety. But at the same time, as we all know, in-person learning produces that high level of engagement for student learning. On the other side of the spectrum, we have remote learning. We know, again, with health and safety, students staying home 100% of the time, that poses the lowest risk for health and safety, but also has a less amount of student engagement when we talk about student learning. And for the most part, our plan is focused on hybrid learning, which takes into account both the health and safety, try to minimize that risk, and at the same time trying to maximize student learning in that model. As of Friday, August 14th, after our family intent survey, we had 1,797 students identified in that survey. Of that amount, 10% of those students have chosen to be in a full remote learning model, and the district will be able to support that. In addition, we have the balance of those students, 1,609 students, choosing the hybrid learning model. So how did we get here today? How did we get to the place we are with our reopening plan? And this started, believe it or not, all the way back in April, after we experienced our first few weeks of remote learning as part of the pandemic. And we started with a thought exchange survey, and we asked, as we continue to navigate through the impact of the COVID-19 crisis, what are the most important things that we should be considering in order to keep everyone, students, parents, and teachers connected and productive as we look at a longer-term closure? And the three top thoughts were the safety and good health of all in our Depew family and community, put students' needs first, and be reasonable with expectations at all ages. A few weeks later, on April 26th, we did another survey, and we focused on our students. As a student, what are your thoughts and questions about the continued school closure due to the COVID-19 crisis, and how can we best support you? The three top thoughts were the continued school closure is very difficult, as we knew that. They missed being at school, and the online learning can be difficult at times. In May, we sent out a thought exchange to our teachers. As you reflect on the past 10 weeks of remote teaching and learning, please share specific thoughts of what areas need attention or further support in order to provide for a smoother transition and or continuance in the event that is what is expected of schools during the ongoing health crisis. And the three top thoughts: more guidance for parents at the beginning of the year, should this happen again. If remote learning continues next year, there has to be more student accountability, and we need to find ways to get students more engaged in distance learning activities. Then on June 30th, we did another survey for everyone. What are the most important things our district needs to think about as we continue to respond to COVID-19 and plan for the future? We need to make sure that students, staff, and parents feel safe regarding our return plan, clear expectations and communication of the parameters, having a feedback grading system that has more accountability for student engagement and work completed. Then in July, the first 3 weeks in July, we began to meet as an administrative team, and we focused on guiding principles for school reopening. And those were planned for multiple reopening scenarios and contingencies to ensure the health and safety and well-being of all students and staff, ensure students and families equitable access to technology required for virtual learning, provide continued support to students and adults to address their immediate and long-term physical, social, and emotional needs, offer ongoing personalized and differentiated personal learning, transform the teaching and learning assessment process to ensure personalization engagement, and differentiation. Then about the third week of July, our subgroups met on the 20th and 21st of July. Our health and safety operations and guidelines and teaching and learning teams met, and those subcommittees were made up of parents, support staff, teachers, and administrators, and they focused in on these 14 assurances, which were part of the New York State Department of Education's guidance in our development of the reopening plans. On the 22nd of July, the administrative team met again to finalize the draft reopening plan. And then from the 23rd to the 28th, we sent out that draft reopening plan on our website and introduced the thought exchange survey, asking what thoughts and questions do you have about our draft reopening plan. And the three top thoughts were, what is the protocol if a student or staff tests positive for COVID? People are concerned with getting temperatures checked, and what will instruction look like? So again, health and safety and student learning. Then on the 30th, the administrative team met again to review all of the feedback that we got from our draft plan, and we updated that plan to finalize it for submission to the state. Now taking a look at the specific details around those assurances within our reopening plan, and we'll start with health and safety. This plan documents efforts to meet two requirements: the monitoring of health conditions and containment of potential transmission of COVID-19 during reopening and operating during the public health emergency. And this chart can be found in our plan. Specifically, looking at student and staff that is symptomatic, which is fever, cough, shortness of breath, headache, new loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, muscle or body aches. And these symptoms are from the CDC. We need to isolate and send home immediately. Inform student or staff they must seek medical attention and must have provider note or negative COVID-19 test before returning. Student or staff has note from medical provider or negative COVID-19 test, or it has been 10 days from the onset of the symptoms. We can allow that student or staff to return. Again, if someone is symptomatic, we isolate them, send home immediately, and student or staff, if they test positive for COVID-19, the school notifies the local county health department of that COVID case, and we use a form that's on the Erie County Department of Health website to submit that information. Then the local health department contacts the student, parent, or staff to perform case investigation and contact tracing. The local county health department will notify the school for collaboration with contact tracing and identify close contacts. Close contacts include persons within 6 feet or less for more than 10 minutes. And contact tracers may also consider duration and proximity of contact and other criteria in determining close contact. Positive student or staff will be isolated again for a minimum of 10 days. Student staff must be 3 days without a fever, unmedicated, and have progressive improvement in symptoms before returning. Contacts a positive case can return to school after the 14 quarantine period time. And all of these directions are from the Erie County Department of Health in collaboration with them. Parents, by sending your children to school each day, you are confirming that you have completed a daily home health screening. If you are unable to complete a full screening at home, please contact your school nurse so arrangements can be made at school. In addition, and this is based on the feedback from that thought exchange, every individual entering a school building will be required to have their temperature checked via a Temp Guardian auto hand scan thermometer and or a temporal thermometer. And these will be at all of the entrances in our buildings. Mask or cloth face coverings must be worn and CDC approved. Anytime individuals are less than 6 feet apart from one another upon entry to the building and until arriving in the classroom, while in any common spaces such as hallways and bathrooms, when in tightly confined spaces occupied by more than one individual at a time, when there is more than one occupant in a district vehicle, such as buses. Masks or cloth face coverings do not need to be worn when at least 6 feet of social distance is able to be maintained. In-person gatherings are held in an open, well-ventilated space with appropriate social distancing among participants. Exceptions to mask face covering requirements must be made for those for whom it is not possible due to medical conditions, disability impact, or other health or safety factors. I just want to pause for a minute. Mike, could you hide the bottom bar on this screen so I can continue to see my presentation? I apologize for the interruption. Mask breaks should occur throughout the day. Breaks should occur when students can be 6 feet apart and ideally outside or at least with the windows open. The break should occur at a minimum of 1 time per hour for at least 5 minutes, and only 50% of the students in a classroom should take a mask break at a time. Teachers may take a mask break at any time and when they are more than 6 feet away from their students or other staff members. Facilities. The district has ensured that appropriate inventory of personal protective equipment and cleaning disinfection have been purchased. The district will post signs on how to stop the spread of COVID-19, properly wash hands, promote everyday protective measures, and properly wear a face covering. The district will conduct regular cleaning and disinfection of the facilities and more frequent cleaning and disinfection for high-touch areas. A deep cleaning of all buildings will take place prior to students and staff being reintroduced. The district, and in consultation with HVAC experts, are evaluating and ensuring that ventilation systems operate properly and increase circulation of outdoor air as much as possible, such as by opening windows and doors, unless they pose a safety or health risk to students using the facility. Occupants of classrooms should not cover univents, as it will prevent the fresh air from entering the rooms. The district will provide and maintain hand hygiene stations, including hand washing with soap, water, and paper towels, or an alcohol-based hand sanitizer containing 60% or more alcohol for areas where hand washing is not feasible. Child nutrition. The district will be offering lunch and breakfast to all enrolled students during the school year, whether students are at school or learning remotely. Meal services in the cafeteria. All students must social distance while consuming meals. Hand washing and or hand sanitizer locations will be provided and maintained in the school cafeteria. There will be one in and one way out procedures. There will be no self-service on serving lines, and surface will be cleaned after each lunch period. Transportation. The district will perform regular school bus disinfection measures, train students and school bus staff regarding social distancing on the bus, at stops and at unloading times, and train students and staff regarding the wearing of masks. In order to reduce the density of students on buses, the district has encouraged parents to transport their children to and from school. The district will seat students from the rear of the bus forward to limit students from walking past each other. To reduce the density of students on buses, no more than one student will be assigned to each seat. Students in the same household may sit together 2 to 3 to a seat. Social and emotional well-being. The district has provided professional development to support educators' integration of SEL in their teaching, including the skills to foster positive learning environments and techniques for embedding SEL into instruction, both in-person and remote instruction. The district has established systems that promote supportive staff-student relationships to ensure that all students have at least one caring staff member who checks in regularly with them and who their family is able to connect with for any needed supports. The district will be proactive in preparing access to mental health and trauma supports for adults and students, which may include establishing partnerships with outside entities and agencies. School schedules. To begin the 2021 academic year, the district will facilitate a soft reopening for all students beginning on Wednesday, September 9th through Friday, September 18th. The emphasis will be on health and safety protocols, social and emotional learning, and technology training. All students will learn the key aspects of using Zoom and Schoology. Parent training and resources will be posted on our district website. The hybrid model, beginning on Monday, September 21st, students will be in school with an altered schedule, Monday, Thursday, and Tuesday, Friday, to reduce student population within the buildings. Students will attend school in person for a portion of the week, and the rest of the time they would engage in remote instruction. Wednesdays will be remote learning days and also reserved for diverse learners, office hours, academic intervention services, related services, professional development, and other activities as needed. Diverse learners may be assigned to attend school on all days depending on their individual needs. This will result in a possible of 71 face-to-face instructional days for students with last names beginning with an A through L, and 110 remote learning days and a possible 73 face-to-face instructional days for students with last names beginning with an M through Z, and 108 remote learning days. Teachers will report to school on each day. This is a typical week schedule for alphabet A through L and M through Z on Monday. For A through L, in-person learning at school with social distancing requirements. M through Z, virtual learning from home. Identified diverse learners will be coming into school face-to-face, and then that will alternate Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. On Wednesday will be a virtual learning from home for all students, social emotional check-in with all students in classes through Schoology, all teachers available for live virtual student Q&A at designated times throughout every Wednesday. Teachers will be available for parents to contact them about questions, concerns they might have with learning. Our diverse learners will also attend on Wednesday. Again, please note that Wednesdays will have the modified remote schedule as follows. The middle school and high school will have a virtual schedule that will end at 11:18, and Cayuga Heights will have a virtual schedule that will end at 12:05, although some specials will be taught remotely in the afternoon due to scheduling needs. The afternoon will be reserved for, but not limited to, any of the following: student conferences, parent conferences, multi-tiered system supports, individualized education programming, English learner programming, and 504 meetings, professional learning for leaders and teachers, and instructional and collaborative planning. Important points of clarification. Attendance will be taken every day for all students regardless of the setting and recorded in PowerSchool. Instruction will be for the entire class each day. Those at home will use video conferencing and Schoology to be a part of the class and at times on their own and post their work on Schoology. Instruction from staff, whether remote or in person, will be conducted from 7:38 a.m. to 2 p.m. during regular school hours for the middle school and high school, and 9:05 to 3:05 p.m. for Cayuga Heights. Students will receive numerical grades in all courses from various formative and summative assessments, not simply a pass or fail, like it was in the spring. The expectations for hybrid and remote learning platforms for the fall of 2020 are greater than they were in the spring. This is a typical weekly schedule by period for each of the buildings, middle school and high school and Cayuga Heights. And again, you'll notice on Wednesdays, all UPK 12th grade students will be in remote instruction, and identified diverse learners will attend school for face-to-face instruction. Those Cayuga Heights elementary students in remote instruction will follow their designated grade level and classroom schedule, as some of them will have specials in the afternoon. This is a sample daily schedule for Cayuga Heights. So on Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, the in-person instruction will start with breakfast, morning work, and attendance. Morning meeting, an outline of the day for 30 minutes. ELA will be 90 minutes. Math will be 60 minutes. There'll be a lunch break worked in there. 40 minutes for special. There's 1 day per week. 1 day per week there is a double special. Academic intervention block for 40 minutes. Social studies and science for 40 minutes. And then social, emotional learning, activity-based learning, and or math breaks will be part of that last 30 minutes. On the Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday virtual time, again, we'll have the breakfast, morning work attendance first thing, then a morning meeting, an outline of the day. English language arts instruction will be synchronous and or asynchronous lessons followed with independent or paired work time. Math instruction will be the same. Then there will be a lunch break opportunity, 40 minutes of special, synchronous and asynchronous. And again, 1 day per week, there'll be a double special. There will be an academic intervention block, social studies and science, and again, synchronous and asynchronous activities designed to promote wellness. On the Wednesday virtual day, again, we'll have morning work and attendance, 120 minutes of synchronous instruction centered around ELA, math, science, and or social studies. Another 30-minute lunch break, 40-minute special. Again, 1 day per week, there'll be a double special, and then 170 minutes of individual small group work and support in or office hours or professional development for staff. Attendance and chronic absenteeism. Attendance during face-to-face and remote instruction. When students are receiving face-to-face instruction, teachers will use our student management system to record class attendance and according to the schedule. When students are present in remote learning, teachers will take attendance using a variety of digital platforms to record interactions. Methods of outreach. School staff will reach out to families to continue to work collaboratively to support all learners. Methods of outreach may include telephone calls, emails, learning platforms, and apps like Remind, other as established by the parent and the school team. Technology and connectivity. Computing devices. Part of our One to World initiative, students are assigned personal computing devices as follows. In the high school, grades 9 through 12 are assigned Chromebooks. Middle school, grades 6 through 8, students are assigned Chromebooks. Hugo Heights Elementary, K-5. All kindergarten through grade 2 students are assigned an iPad, and all grade 3 through 5 are assigned a Chromebook. For tech support, the district provides support on using technology for students, families, and teachers, and provides professional development for teachers and leaders on designing effective online remote learning experiences. Members of the technology department are available for phone support, and their contact information is within the full reopening plan on our website. Teaching and learning. The Depew Union Free School District hybrid remote learning plan has 3 tenets: social and emotional support, expectations and supports that the district will provide for students, staff and students to support social emotional well-being during this time. Instructional support will be geared towards supporting the content delivery of the virtual learning experience, and content delivery resources that will be used by students, staff, and parents in the online environment. So what does asynchronous and synchronous learning mean? Asynchronous virtual learning occurs when students work independently on learning activities and assignments. Teachers provide lesson content through written materials and video presentations. Students show what they know by completing interactive learning activities, self-grading and teacher-graded assessments, and teacher-graded written work and projects. Synchronous virtual learning occurs when students join an audio, video, and enabled meeting space at the same time. This space is greatly enhanced when the meeting space includes an interactive whiteboard, a chat, and breakout rooms. This synchronous session may include whole group instruction led by the instructor and small group work amongst the learners. The structure of this lesson is much like an in-person learning experience. Expectations for remote learning. Synchronous learning classes. Students attend class on time per their class schedule. Students will follow the district code of conduct. Students are ready to learn. Workspace is designated for the student. Students will show their face on the screen to engage with a teacher virtually. Students will participate in the class. Asynchronous learning in remote learning. Complete asynchronous activities assigned each day. Students show proof of participation in daily e-learning by satisfactorily completing assigned assignments to demonstrate evidence of student learning. Video picture or activities submitted as lessons and or completing assignments. Students and parents will communicate with the teacher when needing additional assistance such as tutoring. District-wide virtual learning requirements for Schoology. Zoom link is displayed at all times. Topics will be labeled as weeks, such as week 1 in social studies, 9/21 through 9/25. Zoom is to be used for teacher communication to students only, not student to student, unless placed in a breakout room by the teacher. Assignments post and requirements will be posted daily by first period. Building procedures. All building access. Any student, parent, caregiver, visitor, or staff showing symptoms of COVID-19 will be excluded. Please follow the district daily home health screening procedure, and that can be found in Appendix F of the full reopening plan. Building traffic patterns. The district has designed measures to reduce bi-directional foot traffic using tape or signs with arrows in hallways or spaces throughout the school and posted signage and distance markers denoting spaces of 6 feet in all commonly used areas and any areas in which lines are commonly formed or people may congregate, such as outdoor spaces, libraries, classrooms, cafeterias, and health screening stations. Arrival and dismissal for Cayuga Heights. We will no longer host an early morning drop-off due to the number of students in a shared space. The building will not open until 8:45 a.m. Parents are not to drop their students off prior to 8:45. Parent drop-off in the morning will now be at the front entrance of the building, as there will be an increase in the volume of parents dropping off their children in the morning. Parent pickup in the afternoon will begin prior to 3:05 p.m. in the front of the building and in accordance with traffic safety and at staggered times based on last names. The YMCA UPK program will have designated pickup points in the front of the school building as well. Vehicle flow and logistics were considered to accommodate anticipated increase in parent transport. It is about safety of our students, not convenience. Due to traffic and safety hazards, all traffic will be limited to buses, deliveries, and designated staff on the service road. All other traffic will be directed to utilize Como Park Boulevard to enter and exit the campus. School buses will unload and load one bus at a time in the back of the school building. Before after school activities will be limited in order to ensure time for daily sanitizing. Students must report directly to their classroom upon arrival. Teachers will direct and monitor the students' use of lockers at both arrival and dismissal. If parents are signing out at a time other than arrival or dismissal, the procedure will take place in the health office or the main office based on the purpose, and in most events prior to 2:30 p.m. to avoid traffic congestion. Drop-off of items to students will be limited to emergency reasons. Visitors will only be permitted in the building for essential business, CSE meetings, meetings with staff, etc. Middle school and high school arrival and dismissal. Parents are not to drop off their students and student drivers are not to exit their vehicles prior to 7:25 a.m. and must be in the front of the building. One bus will unload at a time in the designated area behind the building and at the breezeway door. Before and after school activities will be limited to ensure for daily sanitizing. Students must report directly to their first period class upon arrival. Students who need breakfast can get their food and go directly to first period. In order to promote social distancing and health and safety practices, students will not have access to their lockers at this point in time. Students should carry a minimal amount of materials, but will be allowed to carry a backpack, and we will revisit this point as we get into the school year. Students are always required to wear a mask while in the building, and the masks have to be CDC approved. Students will be dismissed at 2:20 p.m. Parent pickup will be in the front of the building and buses will be loaded in the back of the building. All students need to practice social distancing as they are entering their buses and cars. Visitors will only be permitted in the building for essential business. Again, CSE meetings, meetings with staff, etc. Due to traffic and safety hazards, all traffic will be limited to buses, deliveries, and designated staff on the service road. All other traffic will be directed to utilize Transit Road to enter and exit the campus. This is a graphic showing the full campus, and the colored arrows are showing parent and student traffic versus bus traffic and drop-off points. So the yellow arrows are bus routes only. Only buses, deliveries, and designated staff will be allowed on the service road. No through traffic will be permitted. The blue arrows show middle school student drop-off and pickup only. Enter the middle and high school main driveway off Transit Road. Drop-off and pickup in the middle school designated loop, and exit the middle high school main driveway onto Transit Road. The green arrows show the high school student drop off and pick up only. Enter the middle school main driveway off Transit Road, drop off and pick up in the high school designated loop, and exit either the north exit, right turn only onto Transit Road, or via the middle high school main driveway onto Transit Road. And this is a zoomed in focus of that schematic showing the middle school and high school loops. Cayuga Heights. Again, the yellow arrows are for bus routes only, or deliveries and designated staff. The Cayuga Heights Elementary student drop-off are the purple arrows. Enter the Cayuga Heights Elementary parking lot at the east driveway entrance off Como Park Boulevard. Drop off and pick up in the designated loop and exit the west driveway exit onto Como Park Boulevard. The red arrows in both areas, both the high school, middle school, and Cayuga Heights, and the back of the building for the bus routes, designate the points that students will be dropped off and picked up. And again, this is a zoomed in focus of the Cayuga Heights Elementary building. Special education. In Appendix H of our reopening plan, you can find a special education FAQ on reopening. And here are some of those key questions. What students are included in the diverse learner schedule? Diverse learners pertains to our students in our 811, 1211, and some of our 15-1 programs, grades K through 12. What schedule will my child follow if they are receiving face-to-face instruction 5 days a week? Students in the 811, 1211, and some 15-1 programs will start with the district's soft opening schedule. Students with the last name of A through L will attend on 9/9, 9/11, 9/15, and 9/17. And those with the last name of M through Z will attend 9/10, 9/14, 9/16, and 9/18. And starting at 9/21, all 811, 1211, and those 15-1 students will attend 5 days a week for face-to-face instruction. What support will be in place for students enrolled in integrated co-teaching classes who have IEPs but will only be in school 2 days a week? Students will still have a special education teacher assigned as their base teacher. They will receive class instruction from the general education teacher and special education teacher. The hybrid model allows for smaller class size and more individualized instruction to take place. How will related services be provided? Related services will be provided in school, remotely, or a combination of both as schedules allow. Students will still have a special education teacher assigned as their base teacher. IEPs will be implemented to the greatest extent possible as per the SED reopening guidance. With the hybrid plan, Wednesday is remote learning district-wide. What will Wednesday remote learning look like for special education students? Wednesdays will still be a face-to-face instruction day for our students in 811, 1211, and some 15-1 programs. However, it will be a condensed schedule with middle school and high school students following a half-day schedule and Cayuga Heights students leaving at 12:05 p.m. and continuing with a scheduled special art, music, PE, and tech virtually at home in the afternoon. If I choose 100% virtual learning for my child, will they still be able to receive the related services? Yes, related services will be provided to the greatest extent possible per SED reopening guidance. Services would be dependent upon their therapist schedule and would need to be delivered remotely. Now for our frequently asked questions, and these questions have been compiled through our recent thought exchange surveys, along with the questions that have been submitted since last week and up until this past Monday, yesterday, on our website. And again, if you have any other questions based on the reopening plan or need any of our questions that we did answer clarified, please use the thought exchange survey that's currently running. You can use the QR code with your handheld device or log into a browser and type in tjoin.com with the 9 digits. Again, you don't need the dashes, just the 9 digits, and respond to that question. And then we will update that FAQ and post on our website by the end of the week. Will opening fully be revisited during the school year if guidelines allow? And would it be quarterly or half year or at any given time? The answer is yes. The district will make adjustments as new guidance becomes available and we are allowed to reopen. If families decide to send their children to school and then change their minds, can they easily switch to remote learning and vice versa? If families decide to remote learn, can they easily switch to in-person hybrid instruction? Parents may switch between the option of hybrid instruction to remote learning, but not from remote learning back to hybrid. The commitment for remote learning is for the first 20 weeks. This is due to staffing and planning needs. 1 to 2 teachers, K-5, will need to be assigned to remote learning classes, and teachers 6 through 12 will need to be assigned remote learning course sections. If parents haven't already confirmed the remote learning option, they will need to directly contact the building principals if they want to switch from hybrid learning to remote learning. If school is forced to close and resumes in full remote learning, will teachers be expected to provide consistent instruction just like in hybrid learning? Yes, learning course content will continue at home, following a similar sequence and timeline as in school for most courses. At the elementary level, some instruction may be broken into smaller group work, given the developmental level of students. Instruction will be monitored. It will not be like the spring. Will teachers be taking attendance when students are remote learning? Yes. SED guidance requires that attendance be taken daily. Why are students not attending 2 consecutive days in a row? If we were to have students attend 2 consecutive days, they would be away from face-to-face instruction for 5 full days. We will be deep cleaning the facilities each night, not just on Wednesdays. As an elementary parent, I'm curious about outdoor activities. Will the children have an opportunity to have that break and get those wiggles out? Yes, when feasible, teachers are encouraged to take the students outside as much as possible. When will fall sports tryouts be held if New York State allows fall sports? NYSSBA, the New York State Public High School Athletic Association, has announced that the start date for fall sports has been pushed back to September 21st. And the fall regional and state championships have been canceled due to COVID-19 pandemic. The determination for sports will be made by NYSSBA, and we will notify our student athletes. If students play a sport, will they be able to participate if they choose to do the remote learning option? Students who opt for remote learning would be eligible for athletics when permitted if they meet the bona fide student regulation, which is credit for 3 courses and physical education. Will high school seniors be allowed to drive to school? Yes. Parking passes will be provided to all seniors who want one. And with 50% of the class attending each day, we will also accommodate any juniors. Will cleaning supplies be available in classrooms? Yes, classrooms will be stocked with paper towels and disinfectants. Will there still be a Harkness program? Yes, and they will follow the student's schedule, whether it is remote or hybrid. Any day a student is in person at school, they will be in person at Harkness. If we commit to the 20 weeks of remote instruction, after the 20 weeks, can we choose another option if need be? Yes, we will do another family intent survey during the month of December to make a determination for the rest of the school year. If someone at the school tests positive for the virus, will all parents be notified or just parents of the kids who came in contact with the infected person? How soon will we be notified? The district has a point of contact who communicates directly with the Erie County Department of Health to engage contact tracing protocols, which includes directly contacting potentially exposed parties. As far as district-wide communications per the Erie County Department of Health, his district will follow the same process that it uses for all communicable diseases, MRSA, meningitis, and pertussis. When a confirmed case is reported in a building, we send notification to the entire district, all parents and staff, to make everyone aware that the infection is present in a building so that they can take necessary precautions. Due to privacy laws, we will not disclose details about individuals who test positive for COVID-19. Any follow-up communication will be done if the situation warrants it and in consultation with the Erie County Department of Health. What if students refuse to wear masks or social distance? If the student does not have a verified medical reason for not wearing a CDC-approved mask, they will be sent home. The district will be vigilant about students wearing masks and maintaining social distance. If needed, the code of conduct will be employed. Will you be working with local daycares or programs to create a list of childcare options for working parents who cannot work from home? Yes, the district is working with the YMCA as well as with the Erie County Department of Children and Family Services to identify all of the available childcare facilities in the area. Where does UPK fit in with any of the plans? UPK is an integral part of the reopening plan and will follow the same hybrid plan as the rest of the district. Due to a limited amount of funding for UPK, however, a remote learning option is not available. The YMCA is the primary agency administering the UPK program within the Cayuga Heights Elementary building. When will kindergarten screening take place? Kindergarten screening will take place when students return to school. If they are present in class, it will be done in person. If not, it will be done remotely. When will kindergarten orientation take place? Unfortunately, we are unable to do an orientation for students at this time, but we will be posting an informative video to the district website for all of our incoming kindergartners and their parents. A Blackboard Connect phone call will be made once the video is posted. Also, tours will be offered in the coming weeks for interested parents. More information will be coming out about that. Will all of the events posted within the district calendar still take place? The district calendar events, supply drop-off, open houses, concerts, etc., may be postponed, canceled, or modified, and notifications will be made. Is the entire school going to be deep cleaned each night? Yes. The school buildings will be deep cleaned each night, as well as cleaning the high-touch areas throughout the school day. Cleaning staff have been redeployed to our high-need times, and the second shift staff have been modified to begin earlier. Furthermore, additional staff have been employed. If my child has symptoms and cannot return to school, will he be able to learn remotely on those 2 days that he will not be in the classroom? Yes, students that are ill will still be able to participate remotely, even though they are in the hybrid learning option. When the students are on a remote class day, what does that look like? Are the students viewing the classroom live during the day, or are they being sent instructional videos? Remote learning days will vary depending on the age level, the course content, and individual teacher and instructional delivery. The expectation, however, is that there will be a daily engagement with each student and their teacher, and attendance will be taken. Why are the first 2 weeks of school different than the other days that the kids will go to school? The first 2 weeks are critical to acclimate our students back to school and to reconnect with their teachers. This time will be spent on social emotional learning, health and safety protocols, and technology training. Remote learning will not begin until September 21st. For children starting kindergarten this fall, will they be receiving a computer or tablet for them at home for distance learning? Any student who will be in full remote learning in need of a device will receive a device between September 9th and September 18th. Parents will be notified of those pickup dates. Will there be a separate location in the nurse's office, separate from the sick bay, for children to receive daily medication? Yes. Sick children will be separated from well children who just need medication and or a treatment. What has been added to each building for health and safety? Each building has hand sanitizers mounted outside each bathroom, cafeteria, offices, security check-ins, and other various common areas. Each building will have at least 4 portable hand sanitizer dispensers to deploy as needed. Every classroom will have a wall-mounted hand sanitizer dispenser as well. Drinking fountains will be disabled, and additional bottle fillers have been ordered and are being installed. Back to making an informed decision. Again, our top priority has been and always will be the safety and well-being of our students and the entire Depew family. At the same time, we are focused on fulfilling our core mission and commitment to the students of Depew and their education. Revisiting this graphic, the importance of health and safety in student learning, you have to make a determination of that risk level for health and safety and the student learning engagement for your individual child. Again, if you still have new questions or clarifying questions, please visit the new thought exchange and respond to our new question based on the information presented in this town hall forum on the reopening plan. What additional questions might you have? I want to thank you for your time. Look for an updated FAQ on our website at depewschools.org by Friday, August 21st, along with the recordings of the 3 parent forums. Thank you and have a great day.